Who, in your opinion, is a prime example of you either die a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become the villain? Fred Phelps of the Westboro Baptist Church spent much of the 60s and 70s as a prominent civil rights lawyer. That's not something I ever expected to read. He was fine with black people. Gays, not so much. Before he died, apparently he visited the gay commune which had been built opposite Westboro Baptist Church, telling them, you're not such bad people. Rumor has it this is one of the reasons the rest of the family excommunicated him. Maybe he was trying to reconcile with God before his inevitable death, but I doubt it. Fred Phelps was always a legal troll, goading people into censoring WBC or denying picketing, so they could then sue for lots of money, which they did several times, and it was very lucrative. I watched a documentary on him years ago, and one of his family members who left his family/cult basically said that even during that period he was horribly abusing his children. They said they think he was a rage addict. He started out beating his kids, and when they got too old he started filing frivolous lawsuits to essentially bully people using his profession. Then he got disbarred and started the anti-gay activism. Basically, he was an asshole who liked to pick a fight and happened to sick himself on bigger assholes. Hey now, just because they are gay doesn't mean their assholes are bigger than he was. He made a bunch of money suing when the state violated freedom of speech. Everyone in his family became lawyers. Their job, and the way they bring in money, is by going out and doing detestable things like protesting soldiers' funerals and college campuses that have an openly gay student organization. Then when someone fucks up and tries to stop them protesting, or says something slanderous, the family hits them with a massive lawsuit. It costs the family nothing, because they don't pay legal fees since they represent themselves. They usually settle for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then repeat elsewhere. Their whole thing of saying really awful stuff is intended to get a reaction out of people, so that people violate their right to free speech. So the whole time this family were just a bunch of scam artists? That actually explains a lot. Sort of. I don't think you could pay me enough to stand at a dead soldier's funeral with a sign that says "Fing whores burn in hell." Certainly not for the settlement figures they were getting, 5 to low 6 figures, when the state shuts down their protest. So I think they really do believe those things they say and preach. All that happened was they found a way to monetize a personality of being raging homophobic assholes. Philippe Pétain. He went from one of France's most respected generals in WW1 to the head of the Nazi collaborating Vichy regime. What's particularly unique about him is how old he was when all of this happened. Up to the age of 58, he was just some random colonel nobody had heard of. He was nearly 60 when Verdun happened. Only then he became a respected general and a war hero. His reputation kept growing after WW1 and only reached its peak when he was well into his 70s. When he became a Nazi collaborating dictator in 1940, he was already 84 years old. By the time the Nazi regime fell, he had just turned 89. He died at the age of 95 after a couple years of imprisonment. Wait, Verdun was his hero moment? Jesus. If I didn't know any better, I'd assume that Slaughterfest was a stain on every high-ranking person involved. Yes, but it was a slaughterfest that France won, therefore he gets the glory. Losing 400,000 men was the standard in WW1, so the least you can do is win after throwing them all into the grinder. I think that's called Pyrrhic victory. The Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed won a Nobel Peace Prize a few years ago for his stated intent to bring peaceful harmony and cooperation to Ethiopia's various ethnicities. He then presided over one of the 21st century's most bloody conflicts, the Tigray War, and has recently been saber-rattling against Ethiopia's coastal neighbors to try bully them into giving Ethiopia a port on the Red Sea. Recently he has signed an agreement with the Somali breakaway state of Somaliland to secure a Red Sea port, which has sparked a vehement protest by the main Somali government. Not to mention threatening to start a war with Egypt by turning off the Nile to fill that reservoir. Yeah, no chance Egypt is allowing that to go through peacefully. At least Suez Canal is a pretty nice bargaining chip Egypt has to make sure Ethiopia can't. But it does suck for Ethiopia because they can generate a lot of power with those dams. Definitely a tricky issue to resolve peacefully. Blizzard Entertainment. So many good answers here, but goddamn this one hits home. I guess it is because this one affects me personally. I thought I would play every game Blizzard put out. I haven't played Overwatch 1.5 and Diablo 4. Diablo 4 hurts me the most. First Diablo ever, I fell in love with the game and the concept of a well-done dungeon crawler looter, no lifed it until I hit the end game, and now it's just so goddamn stale. There was genuinely nothing left to do besides scour PvP zones for players who were at level 100 doing the same to my level 80 ass, and hunt dungeons for minuscule differences in my already OP gear. In a few months, I went from a game that I was physically experiencing reactions of excitement on my way home from work most days, to the same no fun, no challenge left when I headed out halfway through Season 1. O.J. Simpson. Had he not murdered his ex-wife and her boyfriend, he would have likely remained among football's greatest. He may have eventually bought a team and other companies as many other football players do, and his acting career probably would have amounted to something bigger too. Well, unfortunately, he couldn't do that. Now whenever anyone says his name, it goes straight to the murders. It doesn't matter that he was acquitted, everyone knows he did it and his career and glory days are forever gone. Rewatching the Naked Gun movies is weird, seeing him as an actor doing slapstick comedy and not the murderer he's seen as today. Watch him closely in those movies. He blends right in with the likes of Leslie Nielsen and George Kennedy. He was a natural physical comedian and instinctively understood comedic timing. He could even be very expressive with his face and body language. Watch the scene when Drebin offers them cupcakes. He had a real future in film if not for the whole stabby thing. Edit, watch him here. Him about to spike that baby was one of the funniest things to me. Aw man. In tears when I first saw that. Please like and subscribe for more daily content. I publish new videos daily, otherwise please feel free to check out another video. Thanks for watching.